Aloha and welcome to the Hale Ho'ola on the island of Hawaii. Here we go. Come on in. Welcome to our Aina. I hold a kakoa, the very thing that the Olmec used, chocolate. Also, I know you're here, deep ruler, but we will talk later.
Aloha. Welcome to the presentation of the portable portals. However, most of this presentation is going to be about the portable portals, but first let's talk a little bit about the Olmec. Who were they? They were the people that actually used them and passed it on to future generations. So they established a city on the river called San Lorenzo. It was the first great culture to rise up in Mexico and Central America. The Nahuatl named them the rubber people. And the main reason why they named them the rubber people is that they witnessed their incredible intelligence into how they made rubber. They took the rubber from the tree and they also mixed the Castilla elastica growing in the region and mixed that with the rubber to form, like you see here, the rubber ball. That was pretty incredible to many people that witnessed their production. Although I've had a little bit of a question mark when I refer to them, or people refer to them as the rubber people, because they are so much more developed than that. You can see the head here that was discovered. They made that. Also, they're well known for the things that they left, like writing, the long count calendar, the concept of zero, blood sacrifices, ceremonial cities, monumental architecture, possible inventors of the ball game, domesticated dogs, yes, they did create that, forerunners of Mesoamerican gods, hugely influential for all cultures that followed in Mesoamerica. So we can go into how they got there. Some people say that they got there from China. Some people say they got there from Africa. The jury is still out on this. We're not sure. We do know that they were there and they made quite a difference in that area while they were. So instead of continuing, which is a rabbit hole that quickly turns into a lava tube, we shall move on to talk about their city, Tres Zapatas. San Lorenzo had no peers or rivals. It was the largest and most magnificent city in Mesoamerica at the time, and it exerted great influence in the region. Archaeologists consider the Olmecs to be one of the only 6 pristine civilizations. These were cultures that developed on their own without the benefit of migration or influence from some other civilization. San Lorenzo, the oldest known Olmec center, dates to about 1150 BCE, a time when the rest of Mesoamerica was at best on a Neolithic level. This was the first Olmec site that demonstrates state-level complexity. The site dominated the Gulf Coast lowlands, creating Olmec cultural diffusion. The iconic finds at the site are the famous colossal heads, as seen on the slides here. All of these were from San Lorenzo. This is La Venta. It was the primary center of the Olmec culture and likely the most important regional capital in non-Maya Mesoamerica during the Middle Formative Period, about 800 to 400 BCE. In its heyday, La Venta's residential zone included an area of about 500 acres from a population numbering in the thousands. However, as the Olmec grew in the culture and spread their religion and their art, they had lots of trade with other cultures, and it was believed that they spoke Zapotec language. Here we see trade with the Olmec, as you can see with the red stars, where they traveled. Here is jade. Here is the serpentine. We see that there, and we see that here. The Cascajal block was found here in this area. Serpentine is located right here. Also, these are what they made the heads with. However, they only grew in their culture, as you can see, their religion and their art. They had lots of trade with other cultures, and it was believed that they spoke Zapotec language. On this map, you see the surrounding cultures during the Olmec culture establishment. So if you travel with your beliefs, there must be a way to travel showing the prowess of your beliefs. Having portable portals to carry with you, to open up the space, to open up the magic of the Olmec, to take whatever cultures that had already accepted them to the places where they had never been before. Here we are, knuckle dusters or conch shell. Would these provide a function? They are neither. They are.
Now we will introduce a brief description of what we're going to talk about today. Our travel with B first with the PPs. Here are the portable portals. The red is the fire dragon, the sky dragon. We are traveling to the next stop. In reverse, we travel on the ground, the where.
These are the portable portals. The objects are held in the hands. There are many replications of this posture, from early formative to the classic. The anatomic posture of the bodies, as you can see here, are different and are all pointing to a particular thing that they're trying to do with them. Other statuettes and figurines pose the same posture without PPs in their hands. Not all of these depictions are holding PPs, but the anatomic posture is uniform throughout the figure, thought to be holding the Olmec baby or baby jaguar king or baby maize god, which we will see coming. They form a position. They are portals. They are power tools and used to enter one world or another. Here we see portals. We see Chacotzingo Monument 9. This is a monumental tunnel or portal. We see the Chacotzingo Monument 1. We also see a rendition of a portal, of a flying dragon. If you see at the very top, you'll notice the eye and the part sticking out, along with movement, rain coming down. Tlaloc may have been involved in this travel. We also know that in Chacotzingo Monument 9, there was wear at the bottom of the tunnel, meaning that people stepped in and people stepped out. More evidence how important tunnels were for the Olmecs. Here we see more evidence of portals. At La Venta, Altar 4, and the painting at Oxtaclon Cave all function as a device used in a tableau journey, a story. Something's going on. They've been somewhere and they're coming. Openings of a natural occurrence, like cenotes, rivers, caves, or architectural portals, made by the hand of humankind, like Chalcatzingo, Monument 9, or La Venta, Altar 4, are just a few examples of large portals. Now here is an example of the dragon. We have a sarcophagus. We have a dragon. You can see on the sides, you see the legs traveling. Is it in the sky? Is it in the water? It's not very clear, but it certainly does have the wear snare here, as you can see. This is a monumental size, but the vase is not. Yet it carries the same kind of function. We see the cross here, and we see the wear around it, and we see this with the brows in flame, like we've seen on the smaller versions of it. Why? Why is it that they carry it in their hands? Why is it that we need a monumental and a small one? Because they want to carry them. Imagine what it would be like to take the portable portals with you, as you saw on the map, the traveling that is done in all those places marked with a red star. That's where the Olmec traveled to. And in those places, to take the portable portals, to open up a portal, go in and out wherever they might want to be, including rituals used in all those different areas to alert the people there to the power of the Olmec. And here we see the pestles, very large and very small. Behold the portable portals. We have three different styles. Why do we have three different styles? Because there are different gods attached to each type of style and the locations to which they were used. As you can see here, we have the original ware snare. That is the oldest. And then we have the dragon and the quadrifold. Portals are as much a part of the Olmec and Maya's daily lives as the food they ate. Caves are the literal geographical locations of the ability to travel to other worlds by rituals specific to their intentions. Reign, agriculture success, social cohesion, under a ruler or shaman. The portable portals allow the cave to be transported wherever and wherever the need arose. In other words, the cave was brought to the people or the rulership. As you can see from the trade routes, how much they traveled and how many people were influenced already at that time with the Olmec. This would have allowed for the annexing of more lands or cultures to join within the fold. This is the first style, the dragon. The first style of the PPs involves the Olmec dragon, and it's showing the beast's characteristic: a gaping maw, flame eyebrows. When seen floating on the surface of the waters of creation, this terrestrial dragon becomes the primordial surface of the earth, according to Riley. However, when shown with sky locatives, the dragon may be associated with the sky realm, as the PP depicted here. We see the crosses here. This is a backpack, possibly a bloodletter, but it's still going to be held in the hand. Here we see the eyebrows that are specific about the dragon. This ruler has a PP in his headdress here, as you see. There's a closer version of it here. The flares and presence of the maize god is visible. This is the maize god. Once again, the permanence of PPs and their location in the headdress. It suggests that they were paramount for the ritual performed, possibly a key needed to access the supernatural in order for him to enter. Here we see a standard figure, and we'll see this again in the incised open vase. It's a standing figure from San Cristo, Teptoclina. Shows similarities to the dragon style, on the incised vessel. This posture suggests a presentation of the PP and the torch. The were-jaguar. The were-jaguar was both an Olmec motif and it was a supernatural entity. Perhaps absolutely, I would say, a deity. The were-jaguar motif is characterized by almond-shaped eyes, a downturned open mouth, and a cleft head. Originally, many of the scholars believed that the were-jaguar was tied to a myth concerning the copulation between a jaguar and a woman, and that is the presentation of that act. To the Olmecs, the Mayans, and the Aztecs, the jaguar was worshipped as a deity. Because of its ability to see in the night, they believed that jaguars were able to move between worlds. The jaguar was a being of the stars and the earth, so therefore capable of opening portals wherever it may have thought it wanted to. Here we see the inside celt. Here we see the flame. This flame is located in the right hand. This PP is located in the left hand. These are the opposite of the one we saw in the prior video. However, this is the maze god. Here we see the were snare. So I placed this one over in the were snare because really here is the were god we see here. Not necessarily a dragon, although we do see the cross bands which say it's going to be in the air. Here we see the were snare too. We see this ruler or person traveling for the ruler. We see the cross bands on the belt. These are wings projected. We also see the flame in the same hand, that is the right hand, and the other PP in the left hand as he travels. And here you can see that he doesn't have his legs straight here. He has his legs bent. So he is definitely flying or attempting to fly through, using this as a torch, it looks like, to enter some area, cave, possibly, or go through a portal, since he does have a light and the key to enter. Now this is the were snare style tool that we showed earlier in the monumental to miniature slide. So these are pestles or grinders. Tabasco, middle formative, denote the were snare style. The lid images are were snare styles PPs. The pestles contained a powder, possibly hallucinogens or a substance for trance journey. The smaller object resembles a torch. This is an example of the large version accompanied by a smaller version representation. And this is our next were snare example. And you see Monument 10, San Lorenzo middle formative. I kind of like this guy. I like him a lot. To me, he's specific about exactly what he wants to do. So he's sitting there, cross-legged and leaning slightly forward as if representing the PPs in his hands. Also, the seated figure, Mexico middle formative, exhibits the torch in the left hand, compares to the other rendition of PPs of the were snare styles. Here you can see the flame, and he's holding the PP here. And here we see it here, and we see it here. Now note that he's sitting, but he's still squatting. Here we see the were snare on a metate. Now this metate doesn't look like it's been used a lot, but it definitely could have been used for things used for ritual. Probably contained with the PP on a monument or on a ruler during a ritual time. Now here we are at the quadrifoil, a portable portal style 3. The half quadrifoil on the left you see, found on Pakal's sarcophagus lid. It reveals a quadrifoil PP motif, early to middle classic. This last type is found outside the realm of the Olmec time. The ball game probably was the invention of the Olmec, according to Sheely, and we shall see representations of this type used. These are called handstones and are represented in different styles and shapes. The handstones functions as a key or power tool, enabling the player to contact the ball without using their hands. We shall see that in the next few slides. Here we see the handstones. They are both being carried in their left hands. We see this player who has lost his head, either as a reward or a negative thing. Now, truly in the ball game, every time they played, this was not carried out. Not specific on the introduction as to exactly what. Here we see the head here. This is the chalk god or the maze god. Here we see Flock, shown used a quadrifoil style PP. Raises the maze baby, partially transformed as a power tool, capable of rebirthing this baby into a jaguar, a were-snare jaguar, from a human to a were-snare. And this transformation is obvious. In addition, the murals illustrated here present the quadrifoil style PP at various stages during the birth process of the jaguar baby, which we will also see on the next slide. The transition from human baby to jaguar begins with the hands and the feet of the human form now resembling jaguar paws, the tail of the jaguar and the face of the baby resembling the jaguar baby god, transformed from the earlier human baby scene in the first mural, encouraging rebirth and transformation. And you will see on the next slide the same type of movement. Here we see more transformation. We see him holding this tool in his left hand, and his right hand is a hook. And again, he's professing some kind of power. We see the baby here. Postures are paramount in the identification of the different styles used by the Olmecs for their portable portals. This posture is seen in a squatting or sitting position. This anatomic posture is seen on many Olmec iconography, whether sitting or standing, occurs in statuettes, stelae, celts, and ceramics, monumental or miniature in size. Here we see the kneeling position. Now this is normally the position that was used to birth babies in real life. This is the position that they used. And here we see on the left the PPs in his hand as if to prepare for something, for a rebirth. The center shows the kneeling, and on the right we show a baby. Has this baby just been born? The positions do show that that's might be the process.
We have arrived at the conjugal blocks. And yes, ruler, we will get to you soon. We are at the conjugal blocks. Following will be slides in detail in regards to its special prowess.
This is the Cascajal block. It was discovered in Veracruz, Mexico, very close to La Venta. Also, we need to identify why is a Cascajal block in connection with the portable portals. We will see on the next slide the connection. We also need to realize that Carrasco describes the portable portals seen on the Cascajal block to be different than those seen in other Olmec iconography, but they are always in a visual framework. They are reorganized within the linear conventions of writing, therefore are not contextualized within their typical iconographic positions, meaning that they are different. Here you see on the right 23 circles. These are all replicas of portable portals. They are not used the same, as Carusco has discovered earlier, and do suggest a language. Well, is this language? According to Michael Carusco and Engelhardt, this is. And they are using, in particular, this red circled group or trope to say that these are combined using these symbols not as iconography, but as combined together to make a statement. And this statement verifies the fact that it is a mat for a ruler. He does not specifically say who the ruler is, but Clyde Winters does. And he says that it is King Bai Po, which happens to be Colossal Head number 3. They also say that it is the New World's first element of this kind of writing or this kind of explanation using these figures that are also used iconographically. But in this particular situation, it is not. This is just the start of the past. This is the beginning of a rabbit hole. Also professing into a lava tube because it is so intense about the number of different people who have studied it and have different opinions. Now we enter into the realm of is this language or is it not? Mary Poe says yes, she believes it is. She discovered the roller stamp and says that this in particular is writing, not just an iconographic figure. She says about the Cascajal block, this is an exciting discovery of great significance regarding the Cascajal block for language. Stephen Houston from Brown University, he's a renowned epigrapher. He says that the pictograph signs frequently repeated, and we saw those in the little groups that stand together. Certain ones might be signs alerting the reader to word use that sound alike, but have different meanings, like the difference between I and E-Y-E-I in English. He says it's a great challenge to figure out what they're saying from a single inscription. Houston told New Scientist magazine, since we know nothing about the language, he doubts the script is a list accounts because it includes nothing resembling the dots that later Mesoamericans used for numbers. Beyond that, its meaning remains a mystery. There were many who considered that the Cascajal block might not be an accurate form. It also was discovered after they did some research in digital imaging and archaeometry analysis of the Cascajal block that it may have been scratched and reused or rewritten, or at least erased and those markers put back on it. They did test the patina on it, and it records at over 1,000 years of existence for the block. So it's pretty sure that it is authentic, and it did come from where it came from, even though it was discovered by workers and not archaeologists. So it is what it is from where it was found. Here is the result I've seen so far on the short amount of time that I've had to research this. Michael Coe of Yale, Carl Tobe of the University of California, Riverside, and Alfredo Delgado, Calderon of the National Institute of Anthropology and History, and Michael Carrasco and Joshua Engelhardt, including Mary Poe of Florida University and Stephen Houston of Brown University, do agree and other Mesoamerican researchers who were not involved in the Veracruz discovery agreed that the signs appeared to be a true script, and that the slab could be expected to inspire more intensive study of the Olmecs. The jury seems to always be out and hoping to see more as time travels, as we shall.
We have arrived. Dear ruler, it is your turn to fly. Next, we will be including a colossal head, especially colossal head number 3.
Here we have head 3. Why is he the man? He is the man because he is the described ruler of the mat at his throne, using the portable portals in it. There are 23 different items that resemble the portable portals. So he is important for that. And even if the identification of him is not correct, it does belong to a ruler, and it is the mat discovered by Carrascusa. This is head 3. The Cascajal block is thought to be the mat to his throne. According to Clyde Winters, the anthropologist and linguist from St. Xavier University, Chicago, he notes the description of the head and the block is an obituary of this ruler.
Here we are at the end of our wonderful journey. Let us finalize what we have also experienced on our journey. We need to consider that the PPs carry 22 exact replicas of what is on the Cascajal block. The head is also connected with the Cascajal block as being the mat of a throne. This particular throne, and it is 3. Welcome. Honor to you, ruler. And aloha